Hello there everyone, it's Panzerkampf and welcome back to another Steel Aces video. I've not said that for quite some time, but I thought I'd make a little video on it because it seems like all the hype and the videos being created by these larger content creators surrounding this game has just disappeared within recent months. And you're all probably wondering, where the hell is this game? Well, I thought I'd do a little video today just covering it, giving you an update on the game's progression, where the game's at, and when we could supposedly see it coming out. So I know the majority of you will be here for the main point, which I've just put on the screen now. So when is this game even due to be released? Well, this is a message from Bulldog, the CEO of Steel Aces, and this is posted by himself on the 29th of October 2025. And this is simply about when the game is to be released. And he said they're currently aiming for a release in the summer of 2026. And would rather deliver a good game over an unfinished project just to meet a deadline. So, as you're probably all aware, we are now in the summer of 2026. We've passed June, we are now into July. So, according to this message, the game shouldn't be too far off. But when I've been just skimming through the Discord channels and looking for a more up-to-date release date, I haven't really been able to find anything or any official things delivered from Bulldog or other members of the Steel Aces team. So there is no official release date for this game at the moment. I think they're still ironing out issues. They are a small team, and I'm sure they've said that many times in the past in the Discord group. So undertaking, just making a game of this size is quite a task for them, which is completely understandable. And I'm sure all of us would rather a non-broken game on release. So as for the progression of the game, they had their last public play test for the game on the 30th of May 2026, and quite a number of new vehicles were introduced to the game. Notably, there was the E100, there's the Stug E100, which I don't think has been in any other tank games. That was quite interesting to see. It's my first time seeing it as well. Lots of fixes, German and Russian crew voices, which is always nice. And I will say that this offline version of the game, which is more taxing on the PC, actually runs quite well. So it's nice to see that the game is running well, even on a non-optimized version, I guess you could call it. So yeah, there's been definite progression over the last few months with regards to new vehicles, with regards to just improving the game. There has been some improvements to the driving mechanics, but again, I do want to touch on that in this video. Also, I just want to add a quick side note, because what in the name of Christ is this vehicle? I honestly have no idea what this thing is. It looks like, in the human world, this would be a baby's head on Eddie Hall's body. That's what this tank looks like. Anyway, sorry for that nightmarish photo, but I thought I'd share that vehicle because it is just atrocious. Anyway, moving on from that segment, yeah, the driving mechanics. Now, this has been probably the worst thing for Steel Ace's popularity and repetition as an upcoming tank game. And I don't think many people are happy with it. The problem is that Steel Aces has taken a too realistic approach to the driving, and they've basically modelled all the steering systems for each tank individually, so they are true to real life, which in a way is great, because number one, it shows that the developers are, they're dedicated to this project. They want to put in as much work as possible. But the problem is that this is not a simulator game, because it has hit points, it has the enemy players' names above the tanks, so you don't have to spot them as you would in real life, or in War Thunder, or even in a true simulator game like Hell Let Loose, for example. And basically, what this has led to is because people are looking for an alternative to World of Tanks and are used to the arcadey and more fast-paced nature of the game, is that when they jump into Steel Aces and the tanks feel incredibly slow, impossible to turn in some circumstances due to this unique driving mechanic, they're immediately put off the game. And to be honest, jumping back into Steel Aces after playing World of Tanks and War Thunder for some time, I can confidently say that my least liked feature about this game, like many other people, is this driving mechanic. So what I'm going to show you is how hard it is to maneuver a vehicle and how complicated it's made by this driving mechanic in Steel Aces. So let's just take this zone as an example. Now, in World of Tanks or War Thunder, this would be the easiest terrain ever to navigate. But in Steel Aces, due to the driving system, I will show you, I'll basically narrate what I'm going to do with the WASD controls for the tank. So if I want to take this corner nice and tightly like I could in World of Tanks or War Thunder, basically I'm moving forwards, but to get this tank in a tight turning radius, I'm having to jam on the W and S keys to actually get it into the lower gears to go around this corner. And it's really, really hard. I'm going into reverse half the time. I'm just trying to get the tank to move like I would in World of Tanks or War Thunder in a nice tight turning circle. But I can't do it without having to basically jam my keys between the W and S keys. And it makes this turning just so awkward. You may think it's okay there, but when you're in a combat scenario and you do need to move and reposition in a more of a frantic manner, then it does become far more difficult. I'm just trying to get that point out there. That the driving mechanics, although they do work, it's just they're incredibly janky. It's very difficult to reposition a vehicle in a tight manner, especially in the combat circumstances. And I feel like everything else about this game has such a good basis to go forwards. One of the things I really like, for example, it's usually the smaller things I like. Taking Steel Aces, all the different shell types in the game. We've got armor piercing, you know, your standard AP rounds. Then we've got armor piercing high explosive. Then we've got APCR. They all perform different things. They all have their strengths and their weaknesses. And just the wide variety of vehicles we got in these games, these different types of maps which are far more open, allow for these flanking opportunities. But I feel like, you know, that's all good. This is all great. But that driving mechanic, the main way you get around the maps, you know, to utilize those tools at your disposal, to utilize those flanker routes, it just ruins the overall experience of the game. And I really hope they do simplify this driving mechanic. I really do. And it definitely be for the better sake of the game.